This is Jeremy Meeks, a convicted felon that has a light skin stare that many people's mothers can love, apparently. In 2014, he was arrested and convicted of carrying firearms across state borders. His mugshot was posted online and everyone is pretending that he's the second coming of Gojo. They actually made a GoFundMe for him that raised quite a bit of money, enough for him to hire a defense lawyer. Not enough for him to hire a good defense lawyer, because he was sentenced to 27 months in prison starting from February 5th, 2015. This is Jim Jordan, the guy who signed a multi-million-dollar contract with him on March 6th, 2015. I have a theory. Have you ever been thinking to yourself, boy, if only I was just a little more attractive, I'd get more attention, I'd have more confidence, people would treat me better? Well, I have. Now let's figure out how much of that is valid and how much is just insecure whining. I made a graph. This is the second video in a row I made a graph in. I low-key might have to become a math channel. Shoo, I'll make you a deal. If like, say 50 people subscribe and write 396 in the comments, I'll cancel the midterm I have planned for next week. Anyways, in this world, beauty and attractiveness have become these gaping holes of insecurity that companies use to sell us more stuff. The phrase beauty is in the eye of the beholder is dead. And honestly, it's been dead for quite a while. Back in the day, there was no internet. You had the little people in your village, and you know, if they were chopped, you just pick down the biggest tree and keep it pushing, right? And now people got Instagram. Lil old me is competing with Drake, and I can't rap. I took out my Glock and I popped him in the chest. I took out the shotty and I put him to the test. I sent him to God and I took his family next. Just go watch that video. It'll make more sense in context. The only people who really get attention nowadays are the pretty. I have just received word from my girlfriend's lawyers that I cannot use the word pretty in relation to any woman besides her. So from now on, I will be referring to these people as conventionally attractive, or CA. Thank you for your time. I plead not guilty. And CA people, geez, they get away with so much. They on average get lower prison sentences and just generally have a lower chance of getting processed through criminal justice. They get more discounts. They get treated better by people. They have no problems. People literally assume other good things about them because they're attractive. It's called the halo effect. We talked about this a few times. Come on, you know, you're locked in. It helps with confidence too. Imagine everywhere you go, people are looking at you with a smile because you're just this beacon of vainness. I'm not gonna pretend I'm like chopped cheese. I know there's certain problems that I personally don't have to deal with. Like if you're on the more kind of, what's a good way to put this, uglier side of the spectrum. I would say I'm in like the calm middle now, but don't worry, I was uglier. I've been there. You know what? I really want to see what the grass is looking like over there. I'm gonna go look up some accounts of conventionally attractive people. Now we gonna see how they see it. Yeah, when I first wrote the script for this video, I thought this was gonna be like a relatively straightforward type of video. You know what I mean? I thought it was gonna be, oh yeah, you know, these people get away with murder, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But as with most things in life, when you look a little deeper, it gets much more complicated. So, let me start again, I guess? Have you ever been thinking to yourself, if only I was a little less attractive, I wouldn't get so much attention from people. I wouldn't need to act so confident. People would view me less for just my body. Well, I haven't. Now let's figure out how much of this is valid and how much is just anxious dribble. I made a graph, actually. Damn, that's the second time in this video I put a graph, and I low-key really might have to become a math. 18 times 22. Yeah. You lucky I make commentary videos. Silly, it's in your face. Go look at your comment from earlier. Now, something that's absolutely news to me is that being more attractive actually has some debuffs. Like, imagine walking around and everyone around you has a wicked smile on there because you're the epitome of vainness. For one, when you're conventionally attractive, people don't really look at you more than that. You're a one-trick pony in a sense. I remember when I was a lot younger and uncool, nobody would really talk to me ever. Like I had my little squad of friends, but the majority of people in my class would not mess with me, except for one day. That one day was a day where I would bring pizza to eat for lunch, right? Suddenly, all of them were my best friend. They were all messing with me, all of that, because they wanted some pizza. You're the pizza, by the way, if you couldn't tell. This is especially true with women. Due to how society has elevated the prospect of being beautiful, this whole kind of spectrum of the system is so much more impactful on them. And I'm not talking out my butt either. Dating is kind of like buying a car. Hold on, bear with me. As a man, there's a lot of specific things that you can get with a car that like you're looking for and maybe some other men aren't, right? Maybe you want a car that has a convertible top or spinning rims or can make you a good grilled cheese sandwich. But I feel like for a majority of men, being pretty is the wheels and the engine. You need it to keep going. For women, attractiveness is kind of like a nice radio or something. It's not integral, but it's appreciated. You see, women want their cars to make 6 figures. Oh my gosh, I'm not sexist, I promise. It's all jokes. I know I'm very harshly generalizing, but I'm just saying that's kind of the point. The general public views these conventionally attractive people in this certain way that there's a lot of different problems they have to deal with. They have much higher chances of being SA'd. They have much higher chances of just being touched in public at all. They have insecurities that every single person they interact with or try to build a romantic connection with just wants them for their body. It's a lot of problems that you wouldn't even think about if you weren't in their shoes. And because the vast majority of people aren't, 10 out of 10s just by nature, if you complain, it just seems like you're being ungrateful. It actually reminds me a lot about being an only child, which is something I can relate to. On paper, it sounds very nice, but then there's just so many things that you never even think about. For instance, you know what it's like having to do all the excess chores in a one-parent household? No, so maybe be glad Jeremy does the dishes once in a while. But because there's just more people with siblings than not, the majority share the opinion that being an only child is easy. And maybe for some people it is, it's different for everybody. It's just not something that can really be generalized, I guess is my point. On both sides of the echelon, there's such different problems that the other really couldn't understand. So they strive to be on the other end, A man dying of thirst watching another man drown. I guess to finish, normalize being normal. No more special privileges. No more idolatry, none of that. Because at the end of the day, none of y'all could tell me what 23,760 divided by 60 is. Like the video if you like the video. Have a good day. That was a weak ass clap. No.